All right, everybody, we are live. So we're gonna do a little fresh here or refresh because I'm gonna check out some things on my screen to see when we pop up, and we are up. We are up. So let's see how this works out managing and how many of you get the message. And I'm gonna use this Mevo tool, which is gonna be very cool on this Mevo tool. And my wife's going to talk to me while I'm doing this. She's just going to keep saying things like, hey, this is, you're doing this and you're doing that. So it's like my producer is in the room. So we could interact. So go over to the chat bar there, and I got some awesome content that I'm going to talk about. So let's consider this Saturday morning training, okay? And I'll finish up my protein drink while some more of you log in here, and then we will get rocking and rolling. What? I'm kind of testing out this Mevo tool, but the Mevo camera is here, and my laptop is here. So I'm going to just figure out what's going on with that. Stop and restart the stream at medium 480 or low. Tap for quality.
Yeah, you just froze.
Video stream issue. Okay.
You're good now.
We're going to see how this thing holds up here. Bill, what's happening? Everybody, good morning. Good morning. And my wife's going to keep talking to me. Go ahead. Yes.
You'd like to know this.
I don't know.
You put it public.
Yes.
We can also share and invite people.
Good. Invite.
So you can
Invite lots of people.
You could let them know.
Okay, so anybody that's out there, you can share and invite lots of people. So there's definitely some learning curve here on this one because I'm not used to using the Mevo tool. I'm used to, and if any of you want to do Facebook Live stuff, the Mevo, which it's kind of like on a pole and a stand, and normally I'm used to doing this and talking to the camera or having it in a tripod. So this is like, you know, which is probably lesson number one. You have to be willing to get outside of your comfort zone and do something a little different than you're used to doing. Because normally I'm used to watching myself communicate, and here I am just looking at this little cyber eyeball. So we'll get, we got like 18 people in. Do me a favor. I'm going to share some really cool stuff about success and things that I've learned from not only training martial arts 31 years and being, I'm going to say, since my wife's in the room, I'm just going to say the very best husband in the world. Maybe not the easiest husband, but the very best husband. And how to, you know, some things that I think were the pivotal points, you know, that Rob and I went through to take our company just about, probably 12 years now, from under $1 million to 30 million last year. And how have I been able in the last 3 years to take CEO Warrior and transform it into what I would already consider in the top of the world of people changing business owners' lives by giving real practical, like practical doable things, right? Things that you could really use, because I'm using them in my own business right now. And also what has helped Rob and I, you know, buy, you know, we have one 15,000 square foot building. We bought another 10,000 square foot building, which we will be in, and I'm excited. We'll be in that building by the end of February. That's the deadline. Rob and I agreed, like, at the end of February, I don't care if there's spackle dust there or they're still painting walls. We're going to be running in that building too. And then so much more I've learned about managing a fleet of over 145 vehicles. Rob and I have over 190 employees that work for us right now. So look, I'll go anywhere where you guys want, but I did wake up this morning with some real just questions that I think could change your life if you're willing to try it on a little bit this morning on Saturday morning. And it's one of those things like when information comes to me, it's got to go out. It can't just sit inside my head. It's got to come out my head and it's got to go so that it could serve people, because that's what I do, and that's what makes me feel the most rewarded is when information comes in, I can give it out, and then someone takes that information and they apply it, and then I'm getting messages, hey, I implemented this, I did that, and so that's what we're going to get started on. And the cool thing is, since I can see this stream, why does Disney say Valentine's Day? What is that?
Who knows?
That is interesting. I think he's saying he loves me. I think that's what Mike Disney is saying, that he loves me there. So, and Mark Evans, what's happening, brother? Nice to see so many of you on today. Crystala, what's happening? And I'm just kind of getting used to how I can see who's on this this stream on this Mevo tool. So let's dig into a couple things here. The first big question I was asking myself this morning was this: what is keeping you? And I really started asking about, just wondering, like, why is one person, and there's a lot of extremely successful people in this stream already. Brian Vardaman, what's up this morning? I mean, a lot of very, very successful people here watching this morning, and it made me ask this morning, like, what keeps some people, what allows some people to get to the very next level, and then what keeps some people stuck? So why don't you answer that first? Why don't you kind of stay engaged with me and answer the question, like, what allows some people to go to super success? I mean, vertical type success, just ramp up and there's no slowing them down. And some people just, like, they're going a million miles an hour, boom, into a wall. Million miles, boom, into a wall. Million miles, and they go down, they come up a little bit, they go down. What do you think is the biggest difference from that? And I'm going to look at some of your responses. Oh, that's right, Mike Disney. Now I know what you're saying. The new building, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. That is 100% correct. That will mark the time that we get in there. Good morning, Mom. Nice to see you this morning. Love you. Maybe we'll hook up this weekend and have you over or something. Focus. So Disney says focus. Focus is one of the things that keeps people the very successful, always accomplishing, always growing, always expanding, and people who just kind of hit roadblocks over with each other there. Lou Habaika, how you doing, brother? I seen you were doing good. You sent me a little message. Massive energy to Lou Habaika for some healing energy. Lou, did you feel that? That was very powerful. I sent it, like, right to you, brother. Right to you. So, Mike Petrie, what's up, brother? Healing energy for Mike Petrie, too. Oh, my goodness. And Mike Petrie, you never even met, I don't think, Warrior Lou Habaika. And both of you had, on the same exact day, 2 different types of surgeries done. One with the back and one with the knee. So, massive power to you, Mike Petrie. But you know that because I'm always talking to you, private message and all kinds of stuff. So I want you guys to heal. So Brian Vardaman says, having a mindset that lets you keep pushing and pushing and getting back up when something doesn't go right. You know, the first thing about this, Brian, about thinking that something doesn't go right, and it's a phrase that is hard to swallow. It's really hard to swallow and take the medicine, but it really is very good medicine. And I hate it myself. I'm just going to be clear. I hate the medicine. The medicine is the phrase this, that things aren't being done to you, they're being done for you. And I hate taking that spoonful of medicine. I really do. But when you look at it, you can't change what just happened anyway. You can't even change it. So, you know, if you have a choice of what to do with it, wouldn't it be a better choice to move it to a place of power and understand, okay, I learned from this. I don't want this to happen again. What is the biggest lesson? Now, here's the deal. When you can find a big lesson, we're driven by emotions. And in the last, well, it's probably the last couple years now, I've been studying kind of emotion, mind state, limiting beliefs, this stuff on the highest level ever, because, you know, as you learn things, you get to a level, but then you start asking yourself, well, I don't know, if so many people, if it was so easy to kind of just correct that belief, that mindset, that emotion. Why isn't everybody changed or improved or happier, right? So I think the thing to think about on that, and I want to go right into, when you're thinking about this mindset, because everybody's talking about mindset, right? Oh, it's a mindset thing. It sounds so simple. It's not as simple as it sounds, because there's emotions attached to your mindset that keeps you anchored there, right? I mean, look, a little kid wakes up, he throws on like a Warrior Tommy Weber. If his son throws on Spider-Man, right? That kid's mindset is I could climb walls, I can like shoot spider webs, right? Mindset's indestructible, total power, right? But the minute that something happens to the kid, jumps off a chair, hurts his knee, God forbid that happens, then all of a sudden maybe his mindset is, maybe I'm not indestructible. So he embraces that emotion and I'm never going to jump like that again because I'll get hurt. Versus Evel Knievel or somebody who's just crazy if you ever watch what he's done. He's just like, look, yeah, I could get hurt. I also can land perfectly fine, right? So if you could take that medicine of what was so painful, right? And you think about that and you ask yourself, well, what was the positive side of that? What was the big lesson of it? I mean, look, I've had, Rob and I had some real punches in the face. I mean, some of these things would have paralyzed most people in the world today. It would have kept them so stuck they couldn't get past. I mean, getting embezzled over $500,000, right? When me and Rob were just in the beginning trying to figure out growth and marketing and sales and operational and systems, and to get embezzled in it and never be able to get it back ever because it was like a perfect storm scam, most people would have just said, that's it, I'm out, I'm done, I'm finished, right? So how do you turn that into, how do you even swallow that into a positive? Well, I will tell you that that's one of the pivotal or pivot points from going from already creating success to super success. Because I remember the day having the conversation. Me and Rob had a third partner too. We had a conversation. And I remember saying something like this, like, hey, this sucks. This is really, really bad. But I'll tell you what will make it worse. Putting all of our attention and time and focus on this really, really, really bad thing is going to keep us stuck. Let's use it as fuel, which we didn't have the choice, because when you lose that kind of money, you have probably two choices, right? Actually, a new person I'm working with understanding this higher level thinking, she added a new part to what I never thought about before. It was like fight or flight, right? You've heard that before. So you can fight it out or you could flight. You could run from this thing and be like, I give up. And I just learned this a couple weeks ago. And she says, well, there's fight, flight, and freeze. And I was like, wow, that was really powerful. Fight, flight, or freeze. I mean, that was just one of those times when it's just like such a golden nugget. You're just like, boom, right? Because I'm thinking, well, some people are good at fighting and some people are good from running, but it's the freezing, right? You're in the middle of traffic, car comes, like some people move and some people, what do? They just stop, boom, they get hit by it. So when you take this medicine of, well, and I know for some of the warriors on here, and Todd Casey, what's happening, John Roberts, what happening, for some of these guys, it's like, what do you mean, Mike? Especially for like Warrior Mike Petrie, who's on here and stuff, right? Like, what do you mean? How is my knee happening to me? Like, how's it happening for me, right? Like, I don't even like the way that sounds. Of course you don't. But it wouldn't allowed your son to step in a more powerful position. It wouldn't have allowed you to start figuring things out in a different way on how your business runs and how your life is. And sometimes the universe has an interesting way, or God has an interesting way of saying, well, let me just show him a different path, right? And again, it's hard to swallow, but when you can turn that into power and really turn that into, I mean, that $500,000, that's what helped us get colossal growth year after year. Plus, we've never been embezzled again. We never will be. It allowed us to put in proper procedures and systems and, tools to check things out. I mean, imagine if we got embezzled at this size, at 30 million size. Well, it wouldn't have been $500,000. It could be millions of dollars. So I don't remember who said it. I think it was a friend of mine. I'm trying to remember his name. He's from Pittsburgh. I don't know. I can't remember his name. I haven't talked to him in a couple years. He said, that's a really expensive seminar to go to. He says, you paid for it once. Don't pay for that seminar again, he said. And I still remember him saying that. Tom was his name, Tom. And I still remember him saying, like, just don't go back to that seminar again because it's way too expensive. So, and even when we had a lawsuit that started at $4 million and cost us $1 million and we had nothing to do with it at all, right? Nothing at all. Like, I could tell all of you the story, someday and you'd be like, that's crazy. Because people are going to get money from somewhere, right? There's two types of people. There's those that will build their money and there's those that want to take the money from others, right? And that's kind of a sucky thing, but some people don't know any better. They just figure it's easier to take than to put in the damn hard work, right? Another one of my bosses told me, Tom, he's crazy dude, from First Choice Electric. I mean, he was as nutty can get. He said, look, I used to be like, well, I can't get this done like you can get it done. He goes, I'm not working harder. I'm just working smarter than you. Okay? I've already planned ahead. And we're talking about when I was in the field electrical working for somebody. He's like, I already planned things ahead. Right? And I used to always say, like, this guy could smoke a cigarette, drink a coffee, drill a hole, and pull a wire all at the same time. He was this crazy. I mean, no one could even stand. Even my brother quit working for him. Like, I think I was the last soldier standing that could even tolerate working for the guy. And I wanted to choke him out plenty of days. But let's get to the first thing, right? That I want you to write down. And I see a lot of you have joined. Darren Gilmore, what's up, brother? AJ, what's happening? David Dario, what's up? Good morning. Nice to see everybody here on a Saturday morning. Make sure you got pen and paper, because the thing is, when you take pen to paper and write something down, that impact, that wisdom, that knowledge, it goes inside and now it sticks with you. So I know a lot of you have heard this before, the gap analysis. It's like been around forever. But the fact that it's been around forever doesn't mean that you didn't forget to use it, or it doesn't mean that you're applying it today. And the great thing about when you do these live videos, for anybody who does it, is you find yourself teaching, but also listening yourself, right? So everything that I'm talking about here, I'm thinking about for myself. Where's the gap for me? And here's the gap. And if you can get the gap down with clarity, I mean real clarity, where are you standing right now? And I know I've talked about this before, but I don't know if you're like me. I need constant reminders to remember, when I'm stuck, right? When I'm stuck, and it's things like this that remind me simple formulas to help you get from where you're at to where you want to go. But the gap analysis starts with where are you right now? Okay? Are you extremely happy? Are you extremely sad? Do you feel love? You don't have love. Do you have money? Don't have money. Do you need more money? Whatever it is, are you healthy and strong? Or are you fatigued and tired? Right? Where are you standing in all the areas of your life right now? Right? Your relationship, where are you standing? Your health, where are you standing? Your belief. Okay, your belief of yourself, not so much your higher power belief, the belief in yourself that you can accomplish anything, that you can get anything done, that confidence that allows you to grow. Most of the time when I see people who are successful, but they're kind of stagnant, their belief is they feel they have all the answers, so they stop learning and stop expanding, right? They stop growing. Your wealth. Right? Where do you stand right now today with all those things? Get a pen and a notepad and write it down. You don't have to do it now, but let's write down the exercise. So it's Saturday for most of you. Maybe Australia, it's Sunday, I don't know, or gonna be Sunday. But, for most of you, just like find an hour over this weekend, or maybe right after we're done here, and just write it down. But see, here's where the rubber meets the road. A lot of people know the situation they're in today. They're stuck. They're there. They're mad. They don't understand. They're frustrated. They're pissed off. Like whatever it is, they know where they're at today. Sometimes they're so in the kitchen mad at the cooking that's going on, they don't want to step out of the kitchen. I want to help you step out of the kitchen, but I first want you to let you know, what does it look like now? Right? What does it look like now? Like what sucks right now? And everybody has something good going on. You know how I know that? You're watching this. And it can only be good because you're either watching this on a computer or you're watching this on your fancy ass iPhone, right? Like the iPhone 7 Plus or whatever I got. Like if you had to rebuy it, it's an $800 or $600 thing, which already means there's a lot of greatness already going on for you because there's other places, as we know in the world, where, they're, pissing and crapping in a bowl, right? So you already got to feel pretty fortunate about some stuff, but it doesn't mean you have to be satisfied. A lot of people are like, well, you should just be happy with everything you have. Yeah, I'm happy with what I have, but I don't have to be satisfied. A lot of people stay stuck and they stay satisfied because they don't want to make others feel bad. I lived with that myself, right? Being around people who are not as successful and feeling like, oh, let me not embrace my greatness because you're not great. No, you're probably not great for no other reason is you haven't chose to be great yet. I mean, that's the reality of things, People say, and I can say clearly, I will say it clearly to anybody, and I think Rob would agree also that our success in everything that we've ever done had nothing to do with luck. There's no luck at all. Because I understand no luck. I understand $1 million lawsuit, $500,000 embezzlement, another whatever $200,000 lawsuit. Like, I understand exactly that it's not luck at all. I know some people have luck, things fall in their lap, and they're like, yeah, this is amazing. Right? I don't have luck. I have hard work, focus, and discipline, and I have the mindset that tells me I can outwork, outthink, and outdo anybody on the planet. How do I know? Well, I'm exactly where I'm at with the skill sets I have and the willingness I want to get to where I want to go. Can I go further? Yes. I need to do more and do it differently, right? Do it differently. So the next thing about once you know where you're at is where do you want to be? People say, well, I just want to make more money. It's not clear. If it's not clear to anybody else, it's not clear to your own mind. How will you even know to go? Where will you even know to go? Well, I just want to make more money. Okay, great. Hit me up on this stream. Tell me you want to make more money, and I will just send you $1. You just made some more money. There's $1 for you. Right? Now there's only like 22 or 25 people on here, so that's not going to cost me too much. So you got to be careful when you say where you want to be, that you are really clear on where you want to be. The minute, and actually it was Todd Gaster. I was mentioning him in a stream today, and actually Mark Evans and some other people in a stream with one of my mentors from the past, Kevin Nations. And the thing that I think about is Todd Gaster told me, it was really good. He said, look, you can't grow $1 million business with $100,000 mind. You can't do it. And I would say this, you can't make a $100,000 salary with a $35,000 mind, right? Everybody trying to just go for this next slightly little level up in their gap of where they want to go. I just want to be a little better than I was yesterday, because they're not brave enough to say, I want to be a lot better. I want to be a lot better. And here, I still believe that this gap analysis, no matter what part you put it in your life, in what you want to improve, no matter where you choose to stick it, it's still one of the number one simplest tools that will change your life if you write it down. If you just give it an hour this weekend, 1 hour, and I'm going to fill in the middle. If you just take 1 hour this weekend, where am I? Be clear. Where do I want to go on all different areas of your life? And then the middle, I want to say it's the simple part. People are like, Mike, it's not that simple, because if it was simple, I would have done it. No, it is simple. You never got to the point to think about the beginning and end cap. So you couldn't fill in the middle. You're just shooting like all over. You're like, Well, I'll try this. Boom, right? I see people with this, the MLM stuff, right? Me and my wife always have this conversation about this thing. Not that it's good and not that it's bad. For some people, it made millionaires, and for some, it made people broke, right? But the point is, they're just looking for oxygen. Oh my God, this looks like a great way. A big dream, make it fast and easy. Let me suck on the oxygen. Well, I haven't found out that it's a big way, fast and easy. It's a big way, fast and easy with discipline and focus. So it's the gap we got to close. Now we can get tactics and strategies and insights. One of the things, because I was writing notes, because sometimes what happens is things come so fast to me that if I don't find a place to get it down, it could come out when I'm talking, but like it's coming to me in an order, and I want to give it to you in the order that it's coming to so that it can serve you with insight. Because look, how many things do you need to change the game in some area of your life? How many pieces of information do you need? You need one. I mean, I don't remember who's the first mentor that said it. I don't know if it was Charles Horton or I don't know. It was somebody in the firewalking kind of world that said, everything you need is within you now. Well, I believe that to a sense. I believe you already have the answers to things to get to the next level. Now, us brilliant marketers out there, and there's a lot of great marketers on this stream, brilliant marketers can convince you that you never have what you need and you should buy the next book and video program in training, right? But you have what you need to make a different decision today, right? A different decision today. And that's where that gap is. If anything, and I don't know, actually I'm going to ask my wife, what is it? Oh, it's The Dash, right? It's The Dash, that book. The woman wrote The Dash. So The Dash, a book, which you should read it. I didn't read it, but I skimmed it, and my wife read it, is about, you did read it, right? The Dash? That was the woman who wrote the book Dash, about your lifeline and living your dash. Okay, never mind on that. So the book is The Dash. It's like living the dash, which is the dash on a tombstone of born to death, right? And Marshall Silver the other day told me, he's like, you go until you flame out, right? You go with that level of intensity and focus till you flame out. See, that's in that gap. That's in that space. If you play safe, you be safe, you're going to get safe. Now, I'm not telling you to be reckless. I just said this the other day inside my Warrior Circle group, which is the most powerful business owners, as far as I'm concerned, on the planet because of power of proximity. But I think this is worth sharing with you since I've shared it with them, and I've shared it with them before. And there's a lot of people on this stream. I don't know if Steve Addario is on here or not. Cindy, what's up, Cindy? Nice to see you. And Matt Thompson, what's up, brother? Another warrior in the house. Is, the thing that you want to think about is if we both go to the gym, we show up, we do the same amount of workout for the same amount of time, we eat the same type of food. One gets ripped results. One gets so strong, powerful, chiseled, whatever that is for you, and one just stays kind of the same. What's the difference? It's the level of intensity you go at. Now, you got one life. As far as we know, we're all going to die now. In 20 years or so, they're saying, there's a good chance we may not die, which is perfect for me because I got a lot of information I'm going to want to deliver so people can keep being successful, right? But the question is, what level of intensity are you going at this gap with, right? What level of intensity? Look, take on this challenge. And if you're on here, tell me if you'll take on this challenge. And I don't care if you did it last week or last month or, for me and my wife did this amazing exercise going right into the new year and after the new year with clarity and all this stuff. But the fact is, clarity changes. Things change. Your thoughts change. So how many of you are committed, like no matter what, you're like, Mike, I'm going to be clear. I'm going to write down where I'm at. I'm going to write down where I want to go. And I'm going to give it my best shot on how to get there. And I'm going to give you some stuff to help you with that gap, to help move you along faster. But you need to at least commit to me Okay, commit to me that you're willing to do this. You need an hour. That's it. Most of you with your bathroom breaks are going to crap or piss for an hour. So do it in the bathroom if you have to. You all have the hour time to do it. And when you know it's about forming your life, creating a life, because how could you possibly serve your family, serve your children by leading an example of not doing this, not being clear? I mean, how many of you wish or will do now, you'll teach your children this? You'll teach them this, the gap, right? Because when they understand it, they'll have that skill set forever. Instead of people that sit there and they just kind of, oh, well, this is how it is. This is where I am. I guess I have to accept this. That's normally when I want to punch them in the face and be like, what? No, you don't have to be there. You're meant to grow. You're meant to expand. You're meant to get to next levels. You're like, it's your given right to do it, and it's your damn demand to do that stuff. See, you guys got me all cranked up this morning. Cindy's got me all cranked up this morning thinking about her and how kind she is and how many people she helps. All right, so let's go to the next thing. So I've been studying with a lot of warriors, studying about this, manifestation. How do you make, and manifestation is a really, I guess, a fancy word for creating an outcome that you believe in. And you can't create what you don't believe, right? People are like, I hope it works out. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, hope, try, maybe, those words freak me out, right? They freak me out. Because hope is like, you're just like, maybe it will happen. I hope so. It's like you're not going to take action on it. Well, maybe things will get better. Yeah, I agree. Or maybe they won't. But as long as you don't think there's a possibility, your ass will stay stuck where you're at. I mean, that's the reality of it, right? So, but when you think about this manifestation, it's the creation of things. It's the I believe first. And when my brain believes anything, it starts to solve the problem. It starts to solve where I want to go with things. And here's what something that Toby Alexander, that we've been going through this 6-week training. We're getting ready just to go into week number 3 this week. And one of the things I want to share with you, okay, because some of you are not on the training. Some of you didn't even know about it. And some of you weren't invited. I'm sorry about that. It was offered up to, my Warrior Circle group as something additional to do. So not everybody was there. But I feel when something powerful comes to me and I learn something and I feel like it's changing my life, I feel it's my right to deliver to you, okay, to serve you with this information, all right? So the thing that I was learning about manifestation is, one thing is this journaling, right? Getting it out, what we talked about, the gap, and making the outcome. Here's where we're going to go. And seeing it in your mind, that's where we're going to be. The second thing is the biggest thing. This is one of those, you remember, like I shared just a little while ago, the big thing that hit me, the concept. Well, this was another one that hit me. It's the power of co-manifestation, co-belief. And this is going to make so much sense to you guys and gals, to all of you. Co-manifestation or co-belief is everybody around me also believes this is where we're going to end up. Now, watch what happens here, right? When couples get married, they get married and stuff, they have a co-belief, right? Well, we're going to have children, and we're going to have a white picket fence, and we're going to have, a dog and a lizard. I'm staring at my lizard now, my kid's lizard, right? Thing just eats and craps. But, you have this belief. But then what happens is the co-manifestation changes. Things change. The wife says, well, I have babies, I'm wiping butts. The husband says, I want to just get more success. And the belief system gets twisted. That's when, if you're not growing, and this is an old probably phrase, if you're not growing together, you're growing what? Apart. And then I think it goes to that fight, flight, or freeze. Most couples today, and it's interesting because if you ask somebody like, hey, how's your relationship? Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, so what's wrong? Right? I mean, what's wrong with it? Because pretty good is really just a sucky way to have a relationship today. Like knowing that you have one life, this expectancy with no guarantees tomorrow. Like, why would you ever live at all a day with like just good? It doesn't even make any sense to me at all. Like, it's that you see people. I still love that story because I think it applies. You know, the guy goes up to meet his friend. His friend's up on a porch in the rocking chair, rocking. He's like, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" "Good, good." He's looking at the dog. He's, "Bill, your dog is sitting on a nail." He's like, yeah, it's not a problem. Why? I don't get it. Why is he sitting on a nail? Well, he's got used to sitting on the nail. You get that? And how many of you, and give me a big old boom in the stream, thank you, babe, if you got used to sitting on the nail. You know, sitting on the nail. You know, I got to write a note about something I want to tell you guys, and I might have had it in here, but let me put a note down here. I get that a lot of this that I'm talking about, you got to be brave for. I get that. I'm also only sharing with you, you know, there's maybe the fat guy shares how to be healthy, but he's never maybe been healthy, so maybe you shouldn't share it. Well, I'm sharing you with stuff that I've been through, I've done, I think about today, I apply to my companies, I apply to myself. That's what I think the difference is between me and a lot. There's so many gurus and experts out there trying to tell people how to do things they've never even done themselves, right? So when you think about this co-manifestation or this co-belief, well, let's say you own a company. You believe you're going somewhere as the owners, your managers don't believe it. Can you get there? Maybe by enough force, but it's going to be hard because one's pushing energy forward and one is anchoring energy down. One's pulling energy down, right? That's why that co-belief and everybody being on the same page in a relationship, in a community. I mean, look, when 9/11 happened, very bad situation. There was all of a sudden a co-belief. We will not let anything else happen. We will fight together as one. We will protect each other. Then that kind of dies off and it's like, we'll fight against each other a little bit. I mean, it's just the belief that anytime everybody moves in one direction, there's a lot more power than some moving forward and some moving back. Is this making sense? Hit me with some of your big insight. Ryan Ferry, what's up, brother? Jeremiah, what's happening? David Starr, what's up, brother? Nice to see all of you today. So part of this, what I love about what Toby was teaching us about this co-manifestation, this co-creation, which is really co-belief, which is everybody believing in the same outcome. It just makes it so darn powerful. I mean, that's why I always, that I love seeing all the warriors on here, because like in the Warrior Circle, which is my own group, that we lead men and women to be the very best them in their business and everything, is everybody's driving. You see, if there's someone sleeping off to the side and they're not participating in the group, they don't realize what they're doing. They think they're serving themselves. They're not. Because you serve yourself by serving the bigger whole, right? Serving the bigger whole. That's why I love that power of proximity. I mean, how many times have you heard this? I mean, I know you've heard it as many times as me. Maybe even you've heard it more. You're like the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. I mean, do we all know that? We all know that. Well, how many of you are still surrounding yourself with people that don't support you, don't support what you believe in? I mean, come on, right? So you know the phrase, you just don't do it. Because, look, you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's the reality of it, right? It's different to go from the comfort zone of power of proximity of who you used to be with, who you used to hang out with, to a new group, right? Now, I use the sheep and the wolves. Not that the sheep are bad, but the sheep don't, they don't really think. The wolves have to think. How are they going to eat? How are they going to feed the pack? How are they going to serve each other? Sheep ain't like that. Sheep's just like, I'm just going to eat. I eat until I die. I'm pretty sure the sheep knows it's probably going to be skin naked, all its wool off and all that stuff, and then it's going to be killed, right? Maybe the sheep have taken on that belief after all these years. Right? You want to make sure you don't fall into that And you have a choice. You have a chance. Some of you, I hope that just one thing you take from today is, from hearing some of this, is, well, I'm going to think and make a decision. I'm going to think and make a decision. Or maybe it's the co-manifestation. I need to get everybody believing where we're going or believing they need to be gone, right? Believe in where we're going or believe they need to be gone. Both will be perfectly right for everybody in a company, in your circle, in your family. But don't settle for having anybody being that energy shackle, right? Energy anchor or success anchor or belief anchor. Don't allow that stuff to happen. You know, I know it's a lot to think about, but don't try to overanalyze it. Just try to just process it and just take away one or two things today that you could implement. All right, let's keep going. So one of the things that I wrote down this morning when I thought about myself, and I thought about, well, where was I and where am I at today and where do I want to go, right? Where was I at? My beliefs, my habits, my old self, okay? Where am I at today? What are my new beliefs? What are my new habits, right? And then where do I want to go is really a lot of new habits, new beliefs, right? And I wrote down here, it's like you have to be willing to shed your old self. You have to be willing to shed. And that's the thing, when my wife and I were doing this 13 days of light, with every night we lit a candle and we set intentions and we use these cool little medicine cards with animals on it. One of the things that I picked for January was the snake. And the snake was all about shedding its skin and shedding its old self so it could kind of be like reborn, right? Born into a greater new skin, right? And it sheds its skin and it grows. The snake grows and expands. So as I sit here and think about that, I'm like, well, what keeps me, this is all about me right now, right? What kept me or is keeping me from growing and expanding to where I want to go? What do I have to, and you should write this down right now, what do you have to shed? Okay? What mindset belief do you have to remove? Okay? You know, it's interesting. Most really successful people that you talk, not all, but a lot, have come from a place of either poverty, pain, disruption at some time in their life where they made a conscious decision, I won't ever go back there. I won't ever go and live in that place again. So there's only forward trajectory. Trajectory or trajectory? Are they two different words? Projectory and trajectory? I think they're maybe close to the same. Okay, I don't know. You guys can let me know. Either way, moving forward, right? Moving forward. But here's the conscious decision that they made. They will shed their old self, shed their old beliefs, change their old habits and make new habits. How does someone, you hear the stories, I've never done drugs, I've never even drank alcohol before, and I'm a freak, I don't eat gluten or nothing, right? But how does someone who, as scary as done drugs before, is addicted to drugs, and they shed that old belief, and all of a sudden now they're a famous rapper or something, or a famous rock star, a famous something today, by the willing of shedding themselves, shedding those beliefs. And why don't you share in the stream? Because look, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? And which is not really true, because everybody's going to see this. Everybody's going to see this damn thing because it's going to stay up. But forget about what other people think. That probably goes to shedding, worried about being judged. Okay? Shedding about worried about being judged. But why don't you just say to yourself right now, post one word, even if it's not the word, but you know what it means. What's something you need to just shed that skin off, and you're just not going to live there ever again. Because when you make that decision, it's done forever. And then you could say to yourself, and here's where the powerful side of things, right? It's shedding the belief and replacing it with a new belief. Okay? So I have negative belief. I have new belief. We kind of collide those. They discharge away, disappear, and what I'm left with is this space for the new belief. The new belief sits in that space and time for you now, right? It's really powerful. And it comes to just making a conscious decision right now. Look, Todd said fear of failure, right? Well, the reality is you get rid of the fear because failure is forever. Not in a negative way, in a very positive way. Let me explain myself, Todd. Some of you said perfection, right? There's these beliefs that don't even exist. Let's go with the fear side of things. Okay, fear of failure. Well, the reality is if you grow a company to 5 million and you want to go to 10 million, you're going to really subconsciously probably feel like a failure until you get to 10 million, and then you say 10 million, you want to go to 20. Now you again have this fear of like, oh, well, so embrace it of that and turn it into fuel. That now, where I don't want to let something go until it's perfect. But the satisfaction, the urge, the monster never gets procrastination.
People are perfectionists.
Yeah, so perfectionist, you're just never going to be satisfied. Perfect. Like, I mean, me and my wife were going through, we were testing this thing out, and then finally I was what it is now, and then you're going to learn and grow. I'll tell you that thing about perfection. Whoa, my thing just, that was weird.
You're frozen on here.
Okay, I think I'll come back though. All right, guys, so, wow, so many of you guys sharing such great insight here. What do you have to shed? Fear of failure, boom. Willing to shed our old self. The past does not equal my future. OP, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. I'm sure we'll unlock soon enough here. And it will replay wherever it's locked from. And so let's dig into the next thing of, getting rid of those old habits, replacing them with new ones, reinventing yourself. Very hard, I found personally. And I can only share my experiences, right? It doesn't mean it's the perfect experience for you. No. Is this the perfect lesson for you? I don't know. I always just tell everybody, like, try it on for a little bit. If it fits, keep wearing it. When it don't fit no more, change it out for something else, right? I'm not the end all, know all of all things. I just know what kept me stuck, kept me upset, talk about the perfection thing. I mean, those of you that have that perfection, it's almost a disease, right? Or that fear of failure is almost a disease. How much have you mentally kicked your own ass in your mind? Think about it. How many, when they say get rid of the story, I don't know if anybody really told you what the story is. The story's painful. I told myself so many stories inside my mind that it was like I was living something that was painful. Why would I ever choose to do such a thing of living in pain inside my mind? Because that story was as real to me as anything. I mean, if you write something down, this is probably something good to write down. Kill the story. Kill the story, replace it with a new story. Right? Isn't that the whole thing? Kill the old belief, kill the old story, replace it with a new story. All right, give me some of your big insights, okay? Lewitt Bike every day, every wake up method. Yeah, so, let's make a choice. Because the minute you make a conscious decision, I really practice that. You know why? Because I'm probably one of those people. Well, I am one of those people. Like if the socks weren't paired together, I'm just going to put them on because it's more convenient for me to put the unpaired sock on than to try pairing up a pair of socks, right? Because, are you making noise out there about me?
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about that, right? And when I go around people, I'm not in a suit, I'm not in a tie, and, you know, I love my shoes. I don't know if they're a little worn out or not, and I'm just really comfortable with myself, right? And so when you're comfortable with who you are, Lou, and just like now, I'm comfortable talking to everybody, is because I'm not worried if you think I said the right thing or the wrong thing or said a word. Look, I didn't know if those were the same words, but I think there's that point of when you allow yourself to be yourself, the vulnerable yourself, you allow complete freedom in. I'm not here to impress any of you. I'm here to serve you in hopes that maybe you get something and boom, that changes the game for you today. And then you pass that message on, or you pass this video on to somebody and say, watch this. And a good thing I learned is when you're watching this, like track the time and then say to yourself, well, 12 minutes in, send it to a friend and say, just watch from 12 minutes on. It might serve you with something you're thinking. All right, let's go through a couple more things here. So the other thing is, and we talked about surrounding yourself with the right people, is this, I want to touch base on this a little bit more, is don't hide your greatness. We're built for infinite possibilities. What that means is since you're built for infinite possibilities, okay, which it's interesting. There's been so many greats to walk the planet. Right? There's been Jesus walked the planet, Gandhi walked the planet, Mother Teresa walked the planet, all humans as far as I'm concerned, but humans of infinite possibility of knowing that they can change the world and willing to be brave to do it. So we admire those people, but we don't ever go to strive to create ourselves into that greatness because we feel they're on this plane and I can't get to that plane. So there's that settling thing again, right? There's that settling thing again. But the minute you understand that you don't hide your great, and every one of you on here, and I know most of you on here some way or through, Judy, what's happening? Nice to see you, Judy. Either know you personally or just through watching you on Facebook. I will tell you, every one of you have a greatness that you embrace a little. I don't see too many people today. When I say too many, I mean there's probably a good maybe 50 that I could tell you in my Facebook world that embrace their greatness. And they're out there, they're bold, they're doing videos. You just see them embracing it. Here, not bragging, embracing. There's a big difference there. Look at me, look, here's who I am, right? And what happens there is that when you embrace that greatness, like some of you, like AJ, for example, I don't know if he's still on here or not, he's an amazing skateboarder. So, when you embrace your greatness, and he's a great skateboarder, I see him doing all kinds of stuff. He's clearly not afraid to fall because you can't be a great skateboarder and be afraid to fall. It's like, well, how do you take your greatness now and then serve the world with that greatness? And then guess what? When you do that, monetary value just comes to you, right? It always comes back. I mean, it's those same old beliefs that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. Next thing, and then we're going to tie this up, okay? Because the protein drink I ate is just about gone, and I'm hungry now. So I'm going to have to eat something else, is wealth mindset. So along with infinite possibility is this wealth mindset. That wealth is abundant versus wealth is not abundant, okay? Or poverty mindset. That's what you see today. The people that are winning have this wealth mindset. Time is abundant. There's lots of things I can have. There's lots of money to be made. There's lots of opportunity. And then this poverty mindset. I can't get it. It's not around. It's hard to go to, right? It's just this poverty mindset. And the minute you embrace that wealth mindset, I mean, reality, will any of you on this, I mean, you have a computer, clearly, or a phone, will any of you starve? I mean, the chances of that in here is probably slim and none, right? For most of us. I mean, because shit, you could sell your phone and probably eat for a year if you ate right for it, right? So, but then why do you live in that poverty? And when it really is the mindset versus the poverty, because there's been plenty of people that lived in poverty and broke out of it. Back to that conscious decision again, right? Back to that conscious decision. All right, I want to give you the last thing that I had down here. I call it mentor modeling. Mentor modeling, okay? And I want this really to serve you because it served me really, really well. So there's mentor listening. So you're listening to me. Maybe some of you consider me a mentor. Maybe some of you don't. But mentor modeling is instead of just listening to me and saying, oh, I embrace that idea, I'll implement that idea, I'll change this thing, right? You say to yourself, well, what's a behavior that Mike has? Now, you probably don't want to model all my behaviors because you didn't have to agree with that. My wife's like, nope, should not all of them. But there might be behaviors you might want to model that I have. Maybe the braveness to do videos without worrying about what you think if I'm perfect. Like, it was pretty easy to set up this morning, have the camera. I sat here, my wife's like, well, the background's a little dark and we turn the lights on. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's that mystical darkness and that light shining in. It's like, I didn't spend time with light boxes and microphones and stuff. Why? It's just not me. I don't want to do that stuff. I want to deliver. So maybe you mentor, I should just do videos to serve somebody with your greatness and your wisdom. What did Rod say? I put off establishing systems due to being busy chasing my tail, due to I don't have the system and hope to get time to do it. Insane. Mike, thanks for kicking my ass to slow down and do it. Yeah, and the perception, Rod, is that a system takes a long time to build. And I build systems in 15 minutes or less. I build improvements in 15 minutes or less. Why? Because today you have this digital world that's amazing. And let me give this tip, and then I want to get back to mentor modeling. But since Rod mentioned it, I mean, when I drive, if I think of something needs to be fixed, I just turn on my recorder and I'm like, okay, fix this problem. This is what we need to do. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure this is in place. Transcribe. And then I just give it to someone to clean up. And then I implement it. It's 15 minutes or less. Sometimes today you can implement it by doing a video. Hey, everybody, we got to do this. Follow it up by an email. Follow it up by a text. Follow up by another video, right? Categorize it in a book so the system's around forever. And then periodically check the system. And if it's off track, put it on track. And if it's on track, congratulate everybody and say, great job. So we don't have to make it this whole running after the tail thing, right? So let's get back to the mentor modeling, because this has served me really, really well, okay? And I'm going to probably mention some names. Let me see. Todd Casey, Rod, thanks for sharing. I've been procrastinating doing training videos for contractor in charge because I've been busy on phones. Which contract? Yeah, I mean, how busy are you? You guys have been watching me for 25 minutes. I mean, how busy could you be? Right? What's a video take? The thing goes back to procrastination, like my wife said, and it goes back to perfection. Pick up your camera, do the video, get it out. Don't overcomplicate it, guys. Greg Turner, what's up, brother? Another warrior in the house. Lou Abaika, eliminate obstacles, I think it said. Steven, what's up? Steven said hi, Jen. Thanks for dropping awesome knowledge. You're very welcome. Starve distractions, feed focus. Awesome. Man, so many streams. You guys are throwing stuff. Thanks for another motivated message. All right, let me finish up the mentor modeling, because this served me well, and it's the last thing I want you to take. And then you guys have some work to do. 1 hour today, over the weekend, 1 hour to do the gap analysis and implement this. Because along with wisdom comes expansion. Along with expansion with execution. Massive action on it, you'll get massive results. Mentor modeling. Here's what I want you to do. Pick an area of your life that you want to improve. For example, wealth. If you want to improve wealth in your life, my friend Mark Evans, very good person to model, okay? Very humble, very wealthy man, very smart guy. So you say, well, I'm going to model him. I'm going to follow what he does. I'm going to follow his streams. I'm going to read his books. I'm going to model his behaviors. How does he talk? How does he think? Right? I mean, crap, all of you should just go find somebody you want, a mentor, someone on Facebook, private message them and say, can you ask me a question? How do you think about wealth? How well would that answer serve you? Then go on Facebook and give them kudos for the wisdom that they gave you. Maybe it's, motivation, change, understanding your why. Maybe you'll choose Tony Robbins and you will go to his event, or you'll watch his videos on YouTube, or you'll look for a TEDx video or something, and you look at how does he hold himself? How does he think? What does he say? What's the words he uses? What's the language? So last thing I leave you with as a parting gift today, and I hope this was enjoyable for you, is find an area you want to improve in your life. Find someone who's one of the very best in that area and model their behaviors, their habits, their thinking, what you see they do. Embrace that if it's a fit for you, if it feels good. And then at that point, when you feel like you're modeling that behavior, and you could do a couple at the same time. I've done sometimes up to 3 or 4, depending, martial arts, tattooing, business, leadership, relationship, wealth, spirituality, right? I just look for another mentor to model. Now, for me, I spent a fortune of money because I value people's time and I want to ask one-on-one questions, right? Because I'm a curious guy, so I want to be able to ask that. So that's a choice for you. But there's no excuse, even if you don't have the money to invest in yourself, which I always think is an excuse anyway. You should find a way to invest in yourself, but just model. Model somebody else that you admire that has figured that out. Last thing, and all kinds of great feed and shout out, Mike. This will go viral soon. Too much great information to not have a nice weekend. That was the last thing. David Dario says, go Patriots.
Tom, you don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means. Anything, like, is Patriots football or baseball? It's football. I have no idea. Not a sports guy. MMA, violent fighting, that's my deal. I like that. The rest, I have no idea. Here's what I'd like for you guys. Yeah.
You should give a plug on looking for that position. While you're on.
You made me.
You make yourself.
You made me choke.
All the time.
My wife made me choke.
No. That's what she said.
Dang it. That's so bad. That is so bad. My wife said that's what she said. All right. That's why we're together forever, right? That's why we're together. So last thing, if you found words of wisdom in here, I am looking for somebody for, all kinds of positions. So if you know anybody in New Jersey or outside of New Jersey, good in sales, operational systems, or anything like that, loves to communicate people, extremely driven individual, send them my way. And the last thing I leave you with, if you could do me a favor, if you just picked up one thing, if you could share this with somebody that you think that it would just help their life get better, that would mean the world to me, that you shared something that would change another life. And if you don't think that it would change anybody's life, well, just delete it off your stream, everybody. Everybody, have an amazing Saturday. Love your family. Take massive action. Get things done. Have a great day. Boom. Debbie Tucker, what's up?